It says I am live. Can you believe it? You better. It's thinking. It's refreshing. It's giving me an ad on my own stream. Oh God, sorry, you're going to hear that. Da-da, nothing's happening. Look at that. Look at that. Apologies for the delay. I even had a start screen all ready to go, and I didn't even bother using it because why would I? Why would I spend time setting things up only to not use them? I think we are live. If there's anyone in the chat, please say hello. Good afternoon. Right, that does suggest that I am indeed live. Look at that. Oh, first stream in about 4 years. Can you believe it? Let me get rid of this. Let's go to that. There we go. I've got a comet. Oh, this is going to be fun, isn't it? Oh. Audio could be a bit louder. Yes, I am well aware of that as a problem. I've cranked everything up on full and it is still being a bit of a pain. Let me try and oh, this isn't good. I need to make something bigger. Right, please hold, everyone. Not that there's much to do. Let's try. Let's try this. Right, that might work. I might sound louder, or it might just sound worse. Right, hello people. I have a bad kit, some side cutters, a knife, and a very battered sounding stick, and that is probably all I'm going to use, in theory, to build the Comet. I'm planning on doing it as a full starter set build, if possible. It may work, it may not work. Hello to everyone who has already said hello. I'm doing very well, thank you. Well, I say very well. I'm hot and bothered because I'm sitting in the hottest room in the house. I've got the window open, so if you hear mopeds going past, I apologise. I've got a window open just the other side as well, so if the door slams, it's because there's a draft. But despite that, oh, and I'm also a bit hungover because I went to some leaving drinks yesterday. They were my leaving drinks, so I had to go, and I drank a bit too much. So, the old Tiger. I didn't know the old Tiger was even available in Lidl at the moment. Huh. Madness. Right, anyway, I was going to have some nice background music on, but it took me long enough to remember how to even set OBS up to stream, let alone prepare some music as well. So let's get rid of all of that. Done, sorted. Let's try and build a bad kit. Whilst this is drying, there will be some spoilers because I can't help but show off what I've got on my desk. Well, currently behind my desk. Something very, very exciting that I am building that I'm looking forward to seeing finished. Oh, I've just dropped an airbrush and it's hissing at me. Honestly, make it 5 minutes in and I've already... Oh, yeah, the trigger's come off. Good Lord. That's the chair, by the way. It's going to be a creaky chair as well. Right, okay, the airbrush will have to be fixed later. Please don't break any more. Oh, I've done really well. Really, really well, haven't I? What colours do we have? Red, black, silver. So we've got a black interior then. I need the paintbrush. Let's have a look. I'm not too fussed about these Humbrol number 2s. I've got loads of them. Absolutely loads of them. That one looks fine though. If not, fine. Are you halfway through your Comet? As in, you've done just the starboard side and you're not going to bother with the rest. I hope that's what you mean. Could you imagine? Could you imagine building half a plane? I don't think this is going to take that long. The plan was just to stream until it's more or less finished. And it is a frightfully simple kit. One spoiler that I will give you now, before we start, is over here. The reason why I'm building this one first, I've got plans for 3 live streams over the next couple of weeks because I've got a couple of weeks of unemployment and I need to entertain myself somehow. I want to get this out of the way so that I can build the clear prop one. Look at that. I assure you the clear prop one looks better than this. Yeah, 10 minutes. Yeah. I've actually, one thing I don't like about my modeling space, I set this up specifically for YouTube videos, and it's a little bit small. If I move the webcam out a little bit, you can see it's just an A3 cutting mat, and there's mess on both sides now, and I've got lights above it and lights behind it, and everything is fine except there is no bin in this room. So I've even brought in a bin from the other room in case I do want to throw it away. No, I was tidying up. That's the only reason I got that in here. I need phone. Right. Shall we get on with it? Shall we see what happens? And yeah, I thought just to be a bit more entertaining, I would stream building this rather than suffer in silence. Where do I start? What do I even want to do? I guess fuselage halves together. Should we do that? That makes sense. I know that my unboxing was quite critical of this kit, and I know that almost everybody that has ever made it has told me bad things, but I still want to find out for myself how bad it actually is. I've even been tempted to paint it green to do the green one, but I'm not going to. And I've already found something that I really don't like. I mean, the kit. The nose being joined there is a really bad idea. That is terrible. Because you can't remove it without then the need to sand the nose piece down. Nose piece? I can't words. What a stupid idea of going live. What madness. Right. I guess I should just stop caring about it and just do that. Done. There you go. Now I've at least done that. Yeah, so now if you put the fuselage halves together, which, oh yeah, there's no locating pins in this. Huh. Well then. It now means you've got a scruffy nose. Scruffy nose. Do I, quick question, do I keep the pilots in or do I open up the hole? I kind of wanted to make it as intended, so pilots in. What do we think? Should I leave them in? I think one pilot's head is in the wrong place. I think they're misaligned slightly. Wow. Oh, I don't know. Let's oh god, I've got a camera tripod right next to me, and I keep elbowing it, so I'm gonna have to move that again. Would have made sense to set this all up properly, and at least pretend that I'm a professional. I don't think that would fly, would it? Anyway, right, let's try and tidy this nose up a little bit. I'm also debating just resorting to my usual contactor. I'm going to at least try and use the tube glue. I'm going to try and use the tube glue. Yeah. Anyway, what's everyone up to today? What have people got on their benches? Anything exciting? I've been really good at trying to. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not going to build a basic cockpit interior. You're right. I'll keep it closed. I'll keep it closed. I've been really good at trying to have only one project on the go at a time, because I used to very much be the sort of person that would start 100 kits. Well, exaggeration, but you know, I'd start loads. I'd have one in painting stage, one in initial assembly stage, and then a couple more on the go, and it just got too chaotic. I'd end up with models all over the place. I mean, I kind of already have, because I've got a Darjeeling diesel locomotive, which I painted about 2 months ago, maybe, and I've done nothing with it since. Oh, and now it's fallen over. But it's normally just model railway stuff that I do that with now. Again, creaky chair, apologies. Right, I've also noticed if you hold it at the tail, yeah, that ain't right. Trying to keep cool. Well, yeah, it's been unpleasant. I do not cope very well in the heat at the best of times, and so having more than 30 degrees regularly at the moment is, quite frankly, outrageous. I hate it. Okay, so if I try and glue things, extra thin would work, wouldn't it? But that's not included. If I can just get rid of a little bit of flash around here. I'm doing a Sherman Firefly quick build. I have only ever built one quick build. It was the Spitfire. It was bought for me, and I was quite impressed. It was enjoyable. I've been tempted by the Firefly because I very rarely build armour. And actually, my earlier point about trying to avoid having too many kits on the go is completely thrown out the window. When I look in my boxes behind me, there's about 3 tanks. Well, one's the Airfix ambulance, and then a couple of tanks that I started and then just have never finished. And they were years ago as well. Hang on, I'm going to cough. Sorry. I tried covering up the microphone. I don't think it worked. Sorry. I've got a drink here as well because I've got a sore throat. Well, I say a sore throat. I'm pretty sure it's hangover. Is the glue going to work? Yes. Oh, bloody hell, I forgot how strong that smells. Woo-wee! Whew. I also wanted to do this as a starter set type build because I will be, for those that haven't seen me posting about it a couple of times, I will be hosting an event in a pub here in Norwich soon, as in next week, and we will be using these glues. And so I wanted to remind myself of best practice. I can't educate people if I don't know what I'm talking about. Oh, this is horrible. This is not. Oh god, this is not fun. I should have had a swear jar. Only recently came across my channel. Ah, well, welcome. I don't often stream. I'm glad you like the videos. Sorry, I'm now using both of my brain cells, and it's difficult. I try to I think you've got to use so little pressure, otherwise you just flood the whole thing. Right, okay. Oh, it's on my thumb. It's on my thumb. Ah. Right, I'm going to line it up here. I'm going to line that up and then squeeze it together on the front and hope. I think hope is going to be the key word, that holds together nicely. Now I'm just going to hold it here. Yes, I like to be as honest as I can in my videos, not as in for clickbait reasons, even though, let's face it, almost every content creator will at some stage use fairly clickbaity titles or thumbnails. But I try and be honest, and that means showing my mistakes when I mess up. It does mean that a lot of people like to point out all of the things that I do wrong in comments, but hey, it's what I've done. It's part of the project, part of the build. If I balls it up, I balls it up. What I don't show is how many times I drop things on the floor. That happens way too much. In fact, I've recently lost an incredibly tiny part, and I'm 99% sure it went on the floor, and so I'm never seeing that again. And it's such a shame because it's for a really nice kit, and I don't think there's a way of scratch building it. Half it needs the are they the are they like rubber band? I know the quick build one moves, doesn't it? Are they rubber band type tracks, or are they sort of clicky togethery type? If you know what I mean. Do they come in one part or many parts, I think is what I'm trying to ask. Right. This is now going to have to sit here and dry because there's not much I can do with it. Let's put that there. Look at the wings. Wings on. Then it's just the engine nacelles, and then we're pretty much done. World's easiest but worst kit. Let's get rid of that spare bit of sprue. Let's not leave the lid off the tube of glue. That's how you make messes. Oh, that's gone. That's gone. It's weird that this kit is still available. You know, this kit predates tea bags. When this came out, tea bags were not a thing. Isn't that mad? Click together. Yes. So it takes what, 10-15 minutes to put the bulk of the tank together, and then a month of sitting there waiting for the hours of painstaking clicking bits of sopping track together. Do not blame you for leaving that. You know what? I'm going to cheat. I'm going to use another. It's not sanding stick. It's sandpaper. It's one of the God Hand sandpapery things. I quite like them. Right, I can't really do much with that. He built about 8 years, went overboard and scratch built a cockpit. Why? I don't mind putting effort into a kit, but if a kit is good, it motivates me to put more effort in. I personally don't get that much enjoyment from building a bad model and putting in hours and hours of work, scratch building it or improving it, only to get something which ultimately just looks okay. So I admire your effort in trying to improve a turd, but it's not something which I think I would ever do. And I love the DH-88, fantastic aircraft. I went to university in Hatfield, and they've got a replica of the green one, CSR, on display there. They had at the time the one that was at the gallery shopping centre. That one at the time had been taken down. I think it was in store there. I love the aircraft, but I've never built one before today, because to me, fighting with a bad model just isn't worth it. It's just not worth my time. So yeah, there, words hard. It impresses me very much when people do put a lot of effort into something bad, because whilst I think I'm physically capable of doing that, I think mentally I just can't do it. I just can't get my head around that idea. Right, there's not much I can do just yet, so we're going to go on to the first spoiler. Let's move those out of the way. I'm working at the moment about 4 weeks, 5 weeks ahead, I think. Where are we? What's the date? Anyone know the date? It's the 11th. Is it the 11th? Yes. I'm looking at a laptop. It's on the bottom right. What an idiot. 11th. So I've got videos already scheduled for pretty much the end of this month, 2 a week. So the unboxing of this won't even be out until next month. Ugh. And then the build sometime after that. But this might be the best model that I will build this year. It's a tiger moth, because of course I'm building a tiger moth. It's oh, let's get rid of the tape. Ugh, satisfying. This is, actually, can anyone guess what scale it is, given that it's sitting next to a DH-88? Ugh, right. I just managed to stick tape everywhere. This has been my project for the week. It's got a beautiful interior, relatively boring colour, but the reason why it's a relatively boring colour is because I've got two of them. And I wanted one of them in camouflage, and therefore I thought I'd do the other one something different. This is a bomber tiger moth. There's the bomb racks. That tiny piece I was referring to is one of the bomb holders. It is, of course, the ICM 1/32 tiger moth. Let's get rid of that tape as well. So this is a bit of a culture clash, if you like, a quality clash, messing with my head, going from these to this. One thing I don't like about these tiger moths, however, if I hold it like this, right? Sorry, it's a bit of a weird angle. The wings are incredibly flappy, very, very loose, especially this one, and it's true of both of them as well. Until the struts go on, these are going to be really fragile. Right, behind me there, they are so big. I mean, it's not, obviously it's not the biggest thing I've ever built, but I've never built a 1/32 scale kit before. But they are so big compared with what I've set up for, that they have to live on a box on the floor behind me rather than next to me, which is where most of my models go. Yeah, it's been a fun week building a tiger moth. Well, two. Right. Can I fit the wings yet? Yes. There's a big seam line. There's a big seam line down it. Brilliant. What colour are you supposed to paint the pilot? Black. About black. Right. Okay. Fine. They're not straight. Can you see that? They look. One of them looks wonky. What's a good scale to work on? It kind of depends. Which way does... Hang on, which way does this need to go? One of them's wrong, so if I sand the front of this, it will move the wing forwards a bit. Airfix Maker, and you don't use them. Yes. So the starter sets, the true Airfix starter sets, do give you advice on the tube glue, and you can... I've got a little bit of packaging here. Put it on that. Get a toothpick or something. If you're good with it, then, as in you've got good control with it, then I don't think it makes any difference. So I don't mind using it directly from the tube, but it is certainly more controlled if you use a cocktail stick or something, or toothpick. Hang on, what? You built a Tiger Moth in '72. It was Killcraft Balsa kit. I didn't know Killcraft. I mean, I wouldn't. It's a different generation for me, but that's interesting. Presumably, it was a fairly large thing. No, that's still not right. Still not right. I'm having just to cut this tab off. Oh, so I think the starboard wing is too far back, just by a tiny bit. So I can either open up the hole to move the wing forwards or trim the tab off, which is what I'm doing. Oh, there we go. That should move the wing forward just enough. It now clicks and wobbles. You can hear that. But that's fine. That's fine. Let's glue that in. Slap it on. Oh. Done. On the plus side, this glue gives you plenty of time to move things around before they set. Which obviously has its advantages. Right. This looks bad. I'll get underneath of that. Park a bus in that groove. Is that about level? I don't know. I don't know. Do I care? I probably should care, shouldn't I? It's definitely not level, but it's whether one wing should be angled up or one wing should be angled down. I think it's just wonky. Yeah, that's fine. There we go. Got most of the plane. Next, it's the rear wings. Rubber band powered. Yes. I do know what you mean. I didn't know Killcraft did them. That's what Frog did originally, wasn't it? Flies right off the ground. 18 is starboard wing. 17 is port wing. I always have to do this. I always have to line things up to exactly where they need to be. Otherwise, I will just simply forget, put them in the wrong place, be a total idiot. You built battleships, but not an aeroplane, right? I normally build in 70-second simply because I don't have the space for large kits. Those Tiger Moths will have nowhere to live when they're finished. They're just too big. I also like lots of different subjects. You know, if I could have 100 models of different aircraft, I would choose that over 50 bigger, good models. But that's just my preference. In terms of the best balance of detail, probably 48 is my favourite detail and size. I have a few. I've only recently got into 48. Just looking around, I've got about 6 or 7, and you really get a better grasp of the subject in 48. But in 70-second, you can still end up with some big things like this. Oh wow, look how hairy this is. Oh, the camera won't pick it up, but this is completely covered in fur. A DC-3. So it's still pretty decent. It's a fair size. This is the Airfix one, by the way. In 48th, I would never be able to have room for something like this. The real thing had about 100-foot wingspan. But if you're used to building battleships, maybe you've got the experience with large models. I don't know. What sort of scale? Do you do 700th or 350th? Or the weird Airfix one of 600 for some reason. I've accidentally put the DC-3 partly on top of a Gazelle. Right, there we go. That's fine. The Gazelle is fine. It's not broken. It's not broken. It was designed that way. Ugh. And the B-36, yes. I think the biggest aircraft I currently have is the Liberator, the Airfix B-24. I think. In the past, I've made the Hella Constellation and Super Constellation, but I do not have those in this house. What's that? Oh, that's a bit of the sanding stick falling apart. I think I need new sanding sticks. I also don't hang them from the ceiling. If I had a really big aircraft, that would be the obvious place to put it, but I don't, so I won't. The old Matchbox Tiger Moth, yes, that was the 30-second one, and that was in a Revell box, if I remember rightly. The current one in a Revell box is the ICM tooling. It makes sense for those that have watched my channel enough that my first 30-second kit would be a Tiger Moth. One of them was actually a present, and the other one was in the triple set, which means there's going to be more 30-second content. But I do have absolutely no idea where I'm going to put the buggers. Hang on, it's YouTube is screaming at me for having a poor quality stream. Well, I'm sorry. Everything was working fine when I tested it. I'll keep an eye on it. Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. If you say it will be fine enough times, it will be fine. How the... What? Oh, I see. It's got extra plastic there. That's not helpful. I don't want extra plastic. I just want enough to do the model. Ugh. That doesn't fit. It's got something in the way. Let's trim the tab. Oh, I can't trim the tab. Plastic's too thick. It's going to snap the whole thing, and I don't want to snap it. I just want to trim it a little bit. Fine. I'll sand it. That'll do it. That'll do it. One. Oh no! Don't. What scale is that? Yeah, I am aware that the camera resolution isn't great. I always planned to buy a new webcam before streaming again, but I didn't. And since this won't be a regular thing, I couldn't be bothered to go and sort one. The plan is just 3 streams. That's it. No more, no less. Well, it could be less, couldn't it? If it blows up, if my laptop blows up, then I'm not going to be doing another stream, am I? Nor am I going to be doing any more videos, because I need the laptop for video production. It shouldn't blow up. It's fine. It's whirring very loudly at the moment, though. It's not happy. It's not happy because of the heat, and it's not happy because I'm streaming. Come on. Right. There we go. Sad droopy wing. Sad and droopy. That's also... Oh, that is really not in line. Oh, I've ruined it now. Oh dear. Maybe that's why it wasn't fitting properly, because this also needs a bit of this removing. Yeah. There we go. Is that better? That's... I don't think, when I looked through this, when I did the unboxing, I don't think I really appreciated just how bad it looks. That is a really unpleasant shape. You can see that the fuselage sort of drops down a little bit on one side. Oh well. I can keep it up. I can still keep using just the horrible tube glue. What I really want to do is get the filler out and re-sculpt it, but I'm not going to. Must resist the urge. Right, sorry, I've ignored chat whilst I've been staring at this. Did you ever try building the old trying coach kits? What do you mean by completely knocked down coach kits? I don't think I've ever built a trying anything, actually. Catch you later. All right, farewell, goodbye. Keep up the great work. Well, you say that. I'm building a terrible plane. I'm not sure that's great work. I'm trying to at least get it looking straight. Is that straight? No, that's, if anything, worse than it was. Ugh, so boring. I just want it to fit. Part 1 into part 2, done. Repeat until model is finished. Right. Is that about right? Maybe. More drink. That's better. It really is an awful groove down that starboard wing. Not happy with that. Let's put some cement down there. I don't think it will help, but it's better than nothing. What next? Engine nacelles and undercarriage, which logic would denote should be painted first, but I don't think I can be bothered. Can I be bothered? If I glue them in first, I can be bothered. I can. Let's do it properly. What I often do when painting bits on the sprue, I'm trying to think of a way of carrying on that rhyme. I'll trim off. I can't carry on the rhyme. I'm sorry. These bits. And now it leaves the whole part exposed for painting. So let's get rid of that and that. Tidy them up with a knife. My knife is a bit blunt. Actually, it's very blunt. Probably should change knife blades, but never mind. These propeller blades are horrible. The extra flash. No, the camera's not showing. Fine, whatever camera. I don't care. Actually, it was the quality of the webcam which ultimately stopped me when I streamed in the past. I used to stream occasionally. It was fine when I streamed video games because most of what you're watching is the screen, and then it just showed my face in a small corner, so that was fine. But for this sort of thing, it's not really good enough. But never mind. That's about right. There's a plane. I don't know if you can hear that. I don't know how loud it is on the microphone, but there's a plane currently flying over the house. It's quite loud. And I've just stared out the window and it's really bright. What's going on? Hasm's modeler made this kit. Yes. Trying used to make CKD kits, basically coaches and pieces. Oh, so like Dapol do currently with a couple of Stania coaches, they basically. Sorry, again, it's the chair just moving. They sell you their coach, but you just assemble it yourself, which I have made a couple of, but not anything trying based. I have. This isn't even a big room, but I'm stretching rather than just getting up and walking. More model railway stuff whilst this is drying. I have an old Airfix, yes, an old Airfix B set coach, which I bought a pair of for not very much. It's got a copyright on it, 1975, made in Hong Kong. That's what that says. This side has been partially repainted, so I've repainted the cream and had a couple of coats of chocolate, but that was from long enough ago that these are enamel paints. This side I've done nothing with, dismantled. And the reason why I've painted one side is because there's a design error in these coaches which gives them an extra window here that the real coaches didn't have. There's only a window on one side, which is this window here next to the guard. So this has been blocked off. You can see some black plastic art in it. Blocked off, sanded, and then I was painting it to make sure that it looked good. And then I gave up because Rapido announced that they were doing a decent model of a B-set coach, so I didn't need an antiquated Airfix one. But it's back out. It's over there, so I intend to finish it eventually. Right. I can now try and sand this fuselage down. The wings still feel a little bit loose, but I guess I shouldn't worry about it. When I do a video on this kit, I could ask if Ms. Modeler wants to do a section in it, but it might just bring back the trauma. There we go. That looks... yes. Oh yeah, I was going to do some painting. That's what I was going to do. Going to get the silver out to the engine nacelles. Right, I'm trying to get rid of this join without chopping the pilot's head off. Whilst I'm not an expert on planes, I'm pretty sure that chopping the pilot's head off will restrict flying capabilities. Sorry, I shouldn't really be blowing down the microphone, should I? I'm trying to get rid of the dust. Nice. The model railway stuff that I am more interested in these days is narrow gauge, in particular 009, because it's small and interesting, and you can always get away with freelance things more. For some reason, if you go to like a model railway exhibition and you bring, oh no, there's mopeds, go away, and you bring a loco in a ridiculous livery or modify it in a way that the real thing wasn't, some people get a bit grumpy over it. But if you do the same thing in narrow gauge and you bring a completely fictitious railway along, people kind of applaud your ingenuity. So I personally mostly only build narrow gauge things these days, although I do have a big 00 project that I will be working on. I might film it. I don't know. Model railway content isn't really in line with what I do on the channel, so I'll do the occasional video, but I'm not sure I can really be bothered. But it involves a lot of repainting. Yeah, you still got your Airfix shell tank wagons. Oh, those, I've got two, I think. Aftermarket wheels. Well, yes, because they used to sell them with plastic wheels, if I remember rightly, which are not good. And a boatload of weight and proper couplings. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, those things hitting points, not great. I'm also a bit reluctant to do model railway content because I don't have a very good model railway, basically. There's no scenic backdrop to put things in front of. I am currently trying to address that, but only for narrow gauge things. I've got some ballasting to do, which I'll probably do after the stream, I think. I find ballasting incredibly tedious, but when the alternative is working on a Comet, I think I'd rather do that. Also, model railway content on YouTube often annoys me. I don't know what it is. Just listening to people say how amazingly wonderful something that costs £200 is. Yeah, that's not for me. Right. What do we do with the nose? Because it should have a clear part, which obviously it doesn't. I suppose I could either just paint it silver, or I could add a drop of something to represent it. That'll do. Yeah, I might just put a bit of silver paint on it, actually. It had a bit of an angle, didn't it? No, it was sheared off. And okay, fair enough. I was just looking at the clear prop artwork because that's a much better source than whatever this Airfix bollocks is. There we go. That looks fine, I guess. Oh. Ballasting on Airfix Comet. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I think I'll do some nice soothing ballasting. I should probably paint the track as well. In which case I can't do the ballasting. But then if you paint the track, you then have to go over it and scrape away all the paint from all the bit that are going to contact the wheels, the top of the rails and the insides. But then it does look better. But then it's more effort. Maybe I won't bother. And yeah, understand what I mean from prices. Yeah. The reason why... sorry, I got a bit of a cold. The reason why I mostly spend my time building model planes instead of running model trains is because you can buy a kit for... Okay, let's say you set yourself 20 quid. You can go to the shop with 20 quid. How many kits can you buy? A huge variety of things, loads of options for you. That's, you know, a Messerschmitt 110 from multiple brands you could pick up for under 20 quid. Whereas, and then, sorry, with that kit, hours of enjoyment in theory. Whereas something model railway related, you're spending hundreds of pounds building a train, hundreds of pounds on track. And if you're building a proper layout, as in a permanent layout, or at least, you know, putting it on boards and things, you can't just change the layout very easily. It's a lot of money, a big investment in time, and I would rather just build a plane, basically. So yeah, I do still like running trains though, and I have built a nice little 009 layout. And of course, if I really wanted to run a train, I can't right now because there's a couple of things in the way, but behind my screen, I've got a black screen here. Oh, behind the screen, we have some 009 track. And it is all wired in. I can just turn it on at the wall and run that if I really wanted to. Oh, now I've completely messed up the camera angle. What an idiot. And with 009, having 2 yards of track, which is all I've got wired up, isn't that big an issue. Whereas in 00, that's nothing. Can't really do anything with that. How did that work? Oh, because it was like that. That's why. That's why. There we go. Right, we'll do that. We'll do that. That's fine. Silver. Anything I need to remove from there? Yes. a little bit of excess plastic. Ugh. Of course, the irony of preferring 009 is that it's actually more expensive than 00, despite being much smaller. I need some sort of stirring implement. Pop. Ew. Ew. Look at that, it's horrible. Ew. I need a stick. Let's also get some kitchen roll beneath it. There we go, it's a stick. It's not mixing very well. It's sort of just creating more streaks. I suppose I could add some water to it, but then it will be too thin. I really don't like these paints. Never have, never will. Right. Where's the paintbrush? I've lost the paint. Oh, it's there. I've got it. Panic over. That is watery and horrible. Wow. Huh. Yeah. Okay. It's a good job nobody's going to see this. It's on the inside. Ugh. I wonder if the paint would actually look okay if it was painted on primer, but as primer is not included, I have not used any. And the plastic doesn't feel greasy or anything. I've not washed it, but it doesn't feel bad. Okay. This is going to completely slow down any progress because I'm putting it on quite thick, which means it's going to take longer to dry. And I suppose I don't need... Do I, or do I? I was going to say I don't need to glue these in and then glue the cells together, but actually I think I probably do need them in first. Yeah, this paint is terrible. Oh no, don't tell everyone. No. No. Yeah, this would be absolutely fine if I wasn't, broadcasting it on the internet. Nobody will ever see my mistakes except for anyone who watches this stream. and it will probably be made into a video. I have been filming as well. Yeah, I really don't like this paint. The brush is fine. Which one haven't I painted? I've only painted 3. Oh, I don't know. We'll just do this one again. They all look a bit shit. Well. Oh, and I've just put my thumb in a big splodge of paint. I've gone silver. Oh, that light, by the way, that is daylight bursting in. There's nothing I can really do about that. If I close the blinds, the room will get too hot. But it really messes with my lighting. How dare the sun be... Oh, now I've put my arm in paint as well. Oh, what an inconvenience. What can I do next? I don't really know if there is anything I can do next. I suppose I could paint the pilots. I can sand down that seam line. Maybe. It's not the best looking, is it? Let's get the black out. Let's paint the pilots. About there. I'm not even going to stir this one. Oh no, it's leaking. Ah! It's dribbling all onto the desk. Maybe I should have stirred it. This is thin and horrible. Look at that. It's all streaky and nasty. Oh, and ignore that smudge. We'll get rid of that. Okay. Okay. Let's try it again, but stirring it this time. Without putting my finger in the big black splodge. Look, ruining my lovely, already very dirty cutting mat. I'm ruining a thing that's already ruined. No. I guess the real question is whether this is a better or worse kit than the Gazelle. I didn't actually mind the Gazelle, but I know people have said very negative things about the fit of it. I personally didn't really have much of an issue with the fit of it, except for the nose. It's still kind of patchy. I'll give it another coat in a bit. How long has it taken so far? 1 hour 6. It's about an hour. I was slightly worried that this would be too quick. I'd basically finish it in 10 minutes. Be like that, but right, okay. Ugh, paint everywhere. Right. I don't think that the silver even looks very silver. It looks more like a pale grey. I'm going to get rid of the flash from the propeller blades, except I can't because apparently it's the toughest flash in the world. Let's get rid of that. Trying to leave them on the sprue because I'm going to give them a... No, actually there's no point giving them a coat of paint. No, you know what, I won't. I'll get rid of them from the sprue before I paint them. I'll glue them on first. Oh, I should have painted the tyres. That would have made sense. That would have been an efficient use of my time. Right. I don't even know how they've managed to do that. It's like a really solid clump of plastic on the propeller assembly. Huh. I think I need more silver. It's mostly dried, but it's still really patchy and horrible. Particularly so. Unclear. Ugh. Another thing I don't like in models in general are bad instructions. Maybe it's just because I'm spoiled for choice. These days there are so many good companies with so many clear, concise instructions. But something like this, where it is essentially just an exploded diagram on anything bigger, any plane with any number of actual parts. Oh no, I'm leaking paint everywhere again. Oh, I see. So the design of the paint pot means that if you shake it first, you'll get paint on the lid, obviously, and then when you open it, it dribbles out everywhere. What a generous design that is. Thank you. Just what I've always wanted. I'll bear that in mind for Thursday, because otherwise we're going to end up decorating the entire pub in wonderful, delightful, cheap paint. I've just done it again. Now I've got black paint on me. Oh. And I need to remove it, because if I don't, I'm going to pick something up and end up putting a black splodge on it. I need more roll, more kitchen roll. Well, it's fine. And I've lost the paint. No, is that it? Okay, full disclosure, I don't know if this is the exact paintbrush, but it's a Humbrol number 2 either way, so I'm using it. I've got about 3 Humbrol number 2s next to me. It does feel quite ridiculous that an unsuspecting victim can go into Lidl and walk out with either this or something like the Aston Martin. Such a polar opposite building experience. If it said on the box, warning, this is a bit shit, I think it would be alright, but it doesn't. Although, on the plus side, having thought about it, having the weird, unique artwork style in Lidl actually helps Airfix, because if you do end up building a kit like this and it turns out it's bad and you have a negative experience, the next time you see an Airfix kit, you may not recognise it because the branding is completely different. So the little ones don't harm the brand identity too much because they look like a slightly different brand. You might just think it was weird German imitation Airfix. Maybe. I don't know. Just speculation. Right. Done. Sorted. Is the black on the canopy okay? Not on the canopy, on the cockpit. Should probably give it another coat. Just in case. Let's close that. I am planning on making another kit order at some point. There's a thing. There's like a group build amongst creators being planned, and I will need to buy a model for that. So if there are any models that you think I should buy, now's the time to mention them. If I can get them from somewhere like, I usually use eModels or Scale Model Shop or something like that, then I might be able to add it to the list. If there's anything you want to see me build. Although, again, full disclosure, I am actively trying to work through a lot of my Airfix collection because one, I have a lot of Airfix kits because it's very easy to buy Airfix. And when you subscribe to their emails and they'll just send you something along the lines of triple points, people like me will just snap and go, oh, I can get another Gladiator. I don't need another Gladiator, but I can just get another one anyway. I've got a Bulk and Pull Defiant, things like that. So I have a lot of them, so I want to try and get through some. But also, the slightly worrying direction that Airfix seem to be taking on a business level means I'm concerned that the the Airfix Club will not be the same next year. I have no words hard. No evidence to support this. I'm not privy to anything that hasn't been made public, but I just have concerns that if Airfix carry on going down this, or the owners of Airfix carry on going down this route, that I will not be renewing, which means I need as many flying hours as possible because I'm nearly enough for a Series 4 kit, something like a Mosquito, for example. And I want to send off for that by the end of the year. And I'm not going to just cut them off kits that I haven't made. I don't think that is the right way of doing it. I would rather build the model and then cut off the flying hour as a final, like it's almost a ritual to me when I make an Airfix kit. Cut the flying hour off. Got a little jar in my drawer in the desk for them. Annoyingly, excuse me, out of the way, I don't want to put a load of dust all over my new paintwork. Annoyingly, these little kits do not have flying hours. Otherwise, I would have 2 from the Gazelles that I've done, and then this would be the 3rd, so slightly annoying that they haven't included them. But at £6.99 each, can't really argue. Now, I've seen a lot of people say that the canopy does not fit. Here is fuselage. Here is canopy. Oh, not even close. Not even close. What? There's a big load of flash here, which really doesn't help. So it's not even sitting on it properly. Let's get rid of that. Come on, come on. Okay, take 2. Not even sure Hobby Hobbies will be available after Christmas. Yeah. It's, oh god, my webcam might be about to fall and hit the desk. So fair warning. It's held together with an elastic band around a microphone stand, and the elastic band has now broken. So there's a reasonable chance. Yeah, okay, I might have to sort this out. Yeah, the canopy's not even close. It's the wrong shape. At this end here, can't quite see. It's not quite clear enough. It wants to sit at that angle. So I'm going to have to sand down the bottom to get it to fit. That's really bloody annoying. Do I have some Gorilla Tape? I've got a wireless mic on, so I'm just walking you across the room to find my Gorilla Tape. I'm currently standing next to my shelf of tiger moths because I have a tiger moth shelf. Although there are some other things on there as well. There's a fox moth, for example. A dragon rapide. Right, Gorilla Tape. My main concern, in fact, let's... I'm just going to change the screen for a sec. Bear with. Right, I'm not actually on a break. I just don't want the webcam falling and potentially damaging something. Let's get rid of that. nor do I necessarily want to subject your eyes to me wrestling with a webcam. Right. Is that better? I think that's better. Let's try that. Okay. Yeah, that should last. That should hold it. Let's turn it a little bit. Done. Right. Sorted. Do we actually think Hornby's going to go bust? Because that would be an interesting development. It's been on the cards for years now, hasn't it? Because Hornby have been stuck in the 1980s. I think is the politest way of putting it. Their business model seems to rely on just an unrealistic market. I don't think they quite understand that the hobby has changed, and instead of actively finding a solution, they've just been complaining, bitching and whinging, and trying to persist with it when, quite frankly, they should just adapt and evolve. And it's not just Hornby, it's Bachmann as well. They are also not financially in a great place at the moment, because they too are just trying to use their old business model in a world that doesn't really accommodate it. To me, I like Hornby. Having been interested in model hours for years, Hornby have obviously been a brand that I know very well, and they've made some amazing models and they've made some bad models, and I think it would be sad for any historic company like that to go, but at the same time they've had plenty of years to sort themselves out and they haven't. So the only real shame would be that they would drag down companies like Airfix or brands like Airfix as part of their own demise. Okay, so the pilots actually actively block the canopy from going on. That is really annoying. Let me show you what it's doing. So the plastic is really thick on the canopy, really thick. Which, fine, whatever. There's nothing to see inside. When I then go to place the part, place it over their heads, because the plastic is so thick, it just hits them on the head rather than sitting where it should. And I think the only way around that is to sand their heads down. Oh, the disgrace. Oh, to be an Airfix pilot in the 1950s. At best, you'll have your legs lopped off. At worst, you'll have a giant hand of God sanding your head down. You have to blow it again. Squish their heads. Oh, those poor buggers with their square heads. Picked one of these up last week, kept the decals, rest went straight in the bin. Yep. Can absolutely understand why. There we go. Now that I've sanded their heads down, the canopy fits. What a world. The guy at the front could do with a little bit more of a flat head. I would be less mad about this kit if it was released with all three of the original racers included in the decal scheme. If they just gave you one sheet and said, here you go, have fun. Or if they did this one, Grosvenor House, in its RAF condition, which would be really easy because it's just roundels and a registration. And if they did something a little bit different and gave you more than just the one scheme that they've been giving you forever, then you think, okay, there is some value because your money goes towards at least some spare decals or something like that. But no, instead it's just a bad kit. I wouldn't go so far personally as to throw it out. every kit that I own, I fully intend to build. Oh, that is bad. I have to trim this a little bit. I don't have that big a stash. I have like 70 odd kits that I need to make. I don't know, I've got a spreadsheet with them. I haven't counted them up lately. And this year, I've managed to build so many already. I think I'm on about 25. I think I've built 25 kits this year. I'm already just over halfway through the year, so I could easily get through my stash. The problem is that there are some kits that have sat around for years because I know what they're like. And had I not decided to build this on stream, this probably would have just sat on a shelf waiting for me to pluck up the courage to build it for years. I thought, no, I'm not going to do that. Let's build it. But there's a reason why I went for the Gazelle first. Because the Gazelle, in case you haven't seen my latest video, was the Gazelle build. Was it Wednesday? I think it was Wednesday. Yes, it was. Yeah, my latest video was the build of the little Gazelles. I was really looking forward to those. And yeah, it's not a great kit, but I had a good time. Good build experience. It was fun. Whereas this, I mostly bought because I've never made a Comet before, and I thought I can at least get a laugh on YouTube. Might as well give it a go. Right, I'm now going to use the... Oh no, should I paint their heads black? Their new flattened heads. Probably should. I'm trying to work out where the framework goes, but of course they don't tell you. They don't give you any framework on here. If the framework goes over their heads, I won't need to paint them, but no, I probably should. Probably should. Let's sand them down a tiny bit more. Particularly the guy at the front. There we go. Personally, I would like to see Glow 2B by the Airfix brand. I think that would be fantastic. Because then you'll have Hella and Airfix under the same umbrella again. Like the good old days when the quality wasn't amazing, but never mind. There we go. Right. Tidied it up a little bit. Oh, is the silver dry enough? Yes, the silver is dry enough that I can now paint the tyres as well. You go over there. There have been a few kits over the years that I have built and then moved straight to it's my top shelf. So the shelf is the shelving unit. There's multiple shelves, and the one that's at the top you can barely see. You can really only see the underneath of the aircraft sitting at the front of that shelf. So the top shelf is not one used for my best builds. And if you stick it at the back of the top shelf, it simply cannot be seen. You'd have to actually actively climb up to have a look at it, stand on a chair or stool or something. And so there have been a few kits that as soon as I have finished them have ended up going in not in the bin, but in a part of the room that you actively cannot see. And I have a feeling that this will be one of them. It won't go in the bin because every year I try and do a summary video, sort of a showcase of everything that I've built since the last one. And if I were more organised, what I would do is keep footage back from every single video, and then I just edit it. But because I'm not that organised, what I actually do is I look through my shelves. I look through the videos that I've done. I've got a list of all the kits I build, and I find them on the shelves, and I do a little video that way, filming it again, basically. And if I throw this away once I've built it, I won't be able to include it in that video, or I'd have to go and find the footage, and sounds like a hassle. And it also gives me at least one opportunity a year to completely tidy and rearrange my shelves. So it will get to December, I'll start filming that video, and then I'll look at some things, and then I don't chuck them in the bin straight away. I've got a box, just a big cardboard box full of old models, mostly ones that I made as a teenager that are just a bit shit, but one day I might want to feature them in a video, so they're stored in a box, and it will probably end up in there. And then when the box is full, which it nearly is, I'll then probably just chuck them all in the bin. So eventually, with a few extra steps, I foresee that this kit will probably just get thrown out. Right, there we go. Tyres done. Have Hornby Hobbies divested themselves of Scale Electric already? They did get rid of Scale Electric, didn't they? I don't know if they are planning anything else. They got rid of Oxford Rail as well. That was sold back to what's his face, the former CEO. Was it last year, I think? So they sold that, but they still have brands like Porsche. Is it Porsche? You know, the incredibly expensive cars. It's not for me. I'm not a car person, but they can't make that much money out of that brand, can they? It seems pretty obvious to me that the money sink in Hornby, as in Hornby Hobbies, is Hornby. Again, apologies about the creaky chair. I'm going to keep on apologising in case anyone comments on it being something other than a creaky chair. Right. I've managed to somehow get some grey paint. Oh no, it's silver. So I haven't had any grey paint out. There's a few grey splatters on it, but it's obviously the silver. That's the only logical explanation. I can also see a problem already. The nacelles go here, you've got the two pins. There's an ejection pin mark right in the middle, which is where this is going to have to be glued on. That is very annoying. Right. Anyway, right, canopy next. And I'm going to be gluing on a canopy using the tube glue. Whoa! That's not going to be a problem, I'm sure. In theory, as long as I am very careful and very gentle with it, shouldn't be a problem. It's now, oh shit, now stuck. The canopy is stuck to my thumb. Plop. Oh, no, I ruined it. Well, it's fine. There's so little to see inside, it really doesn't matter. It doesn't fit. It just doesn't fit at all. It's the wrong shape. Well, I guess I'm just gonna have to hold it. Unless I can get inventive with the clamp. No, that's exactly why I wasn't going to clamp it. Okay. You have to hold it like this until it bites enough. Then it is the engine nacelles, and when they're on, the kit is basically done. It'll just be some painting next. Which, I've lost the paint. Oh, there it is. I could do that as well. I've only been live an hour and a half. What time is it? Nearly 5. Every minute spent doing this comet is a minute away from a big tiger moth, which looks quite nice. My usual trick of, I say usual, I've only tried it a couple of times, mixing in a tiny bit of grey with silver is not what I've done with the tiger moth. I've actually used just standard Vallejo silver and I've just matte varnished it, and I think it looks really good. I will add a bit of a wash to tone it down, but oh, I love silver. Looks so good on trainer aircraft, even though on a tiger moth it's quite boring. Anyway, is that now done? I think maybe close enough. This is so far the worst kit I've built in a very long time. In very, very long time. It's not easy because every part needs some sanding or trimming. It doesn't look good, and I can't really say that I've enjoyed assembling it. It's awful. Yeah, really bad. Still, I knew it when I bought it. My own fault. Nacelle 6 and 12. So it's these two. Again, like the nose, the way that they've moulded the parts means that you're highly susceptible to trimming off something that you shouldn't. I think that's fine. 1, 2. Right. The biggest fear I have with Airfix, though, is regardless of what happens to Hornby, because quite frankly I don't care about Hornby enough anymore, is if the decision is made to change decal supplier. Because no matter how bad an Airfix kit is, whether it's old or new, you know that it's at least going to have a decent set of decals with it. And if they stop paying Cartograph, I'm just going to stop buying them. Just flat out. Flat out just going to refuse if Airfix make that stupid decision. You will believe models can fly. Yes, straight up. Yes. Well, I suppose that's the other thing I could do with it. Take it to the local park and just throw it around. Oh, there you go. Look, you can stick half of the nacelle on. Look at that. Does the other half squeeze on at the same time? No. No. No, it'd be too much to ask for it to fit. I have to use a file. I'm using more and more tools now. I don't think it is possible to do what my initial plan was and only use what's inside the box. And a modelling knife, obviously. Yeah, I can't say this is particularly enjoyable. Paint dry? Yeah, the paint's dry. So I need a wheel. Got a wheel. Parts 5 and 11. There's 11. That one there. Which is on that side, apparently. Don't know if it makes any difference. And part 5, like that. Oh, so I don't even need to do most of the painting on these parts. Why didn't you warn me? God, when you go Captain, you idiot, you don't need to do that. Because now I've just got to remove some of the paint. Right. That in there. And that in there. There we go. Got a stick. Then I need to do the other side. Get rid of that. And that. And then that's the other half. Oh, that doesn't fit properly. Not that I should be surprised by that. And then these two halves go together, but I need the pin for the propeller blades in there first. But they should go together like that, more or less. Yeah, okay. That's fine. Where's the pin? Oh. Pin. And pin. Wonky propeller blade. This reminds me quite a lot of the Airfix Gosling or Widgeon. And that was another kit that just made no sense to me. It was just not enjoyable. It was very much like this. Every part had flash or fit issues. And it's also a kit that I never even finished. That has gone in the bin. Because I thought at least it's got decent transfers and it will look nice. It will be bright and colourful. And then the transfers didn't fit properly because the shape of the aircraft is wrong. So the one thing it potentially had going for it didn't work, and I just went, nope, I'm done with this. I hate it. And it sat abandoned for many years, and then earlier this year I chucked it in the bloody bin. Good riddance. So at least this will be finished before it gets thrown in the bin. In theory. Right, that doesn't fit either, because why would it? To open up the hole a little bit. Right. There's also a big bit of flash blocking the starboard propeller from going in. So that's going to have to be removed. And I think, yeah, that's also really bad. The hole in the back of the propeller is too small, so I have to open it up or drill it out or something, or cut the shaft down. If I don't, oh god, there's flash here as well. In fact, no, this bit is mismolded. Because that's nothing that I've done. Yeah, so right, let's see if I can angle this. The front of the nacelle should look like this. So one side's got the intake for the engine, and then the other one doesn't, and then you've got the two small holes for the propeller. Right. This side, absolutely fine. You can see there, as per the other one. But this side here, it's just sort of missing a bit of plastic. So you put it together, and it's going to have a big hole. So there's no way that the propeller blade's ever going to sit properly. The old cereal box gets and later. Oh, yes. Auction it for charity. What, this? Who would want this? Have a bad model built by someone pointlessly imposing strict rules on themselves by only using what's in the box. You know, I've thought about selling my old kits before, but I don't like them. I'm not happy to even waste time, you know, listing these things on eBay. Quite frankly, if you can't do at least the quality that I did there, then don't buy somebody else's bodged attempt, maybe. I don't know, it feels weird. You'd be surprised? Well, maybe. I've got this modeler staying around next week, so I could always just hide it in her bag or hide it in the car somewhere, and then it's her problem, not mine. Have a complimentary Comet. Because I painted this, I should have looked ahead. Because I painted the undercarriage, and I've only scratched some of the paint away. It's not quite glued together properly now. Right, yeah. So this simply isn't going to work because of the misshapen lumps at the front. So what I'm going to do is just glue the propeller shaft in like that. I have no interest in having spinning propeller blades anyway. That's mean? No, it's not. It's a gift. It's a free gift. Thanks for coming around. Please take my crap. Complimentary KP kit in there as well. Oh, that's what I need to do. I need to build a KP kit. Which one is it? It's the PC9. PC9. I've got a PC9 to make. I should do that. Then we have the ability to assess if this is worse than a KP kit. That really is a bad bit of moulding there. What's it supposed to do with that? I have been to a couple of museums, usually on the way back from places. I don't usually drive just to go to an air museum, but if I'm driving past one, I'll often stop off. And there's one in particular that has kits for sale, as in made up kits, built kits for sale. And I've never bought one because for me the fun is in the building. I get that not everybody can. Somebody might want a model and not have the ability to make one themselves. That's absolutely fine. I get why you would buy them, just not for me. But the reason why I mention it is because I don't think they were built very well. Now, I don't want to sound mean. Obviously, everyone has their own skill level, and I don't think mine are particularly amazing. But all of the ones that I saw for sale had a really hideous glossy finish. The paint was really thick as well, so they were assembled quite well, just not finished quite well. And as such, even if I were the sort to buy models, I know that I can do better, therefore I wouldn't. So maybe I could message them, and next time I'm going past I could drop off some of mine so that they could sell those. Because then, one, they're no longer in my hands. Two, I don't have to worry about packaging them. And the money, any proceeds, would go to a museum. So maybe I can do that. And if I really wanted to be an egotist, I could put my stickers with them as well. Maybe. The mold is older than you. Yep. Yes, it should have been discarded. It won't fit. Of course it won't fit. Why would it fit? Nothing else has fitted yet. Ugh. Get in there, you bastard. One tiny bit of glue. It's really hard to do a tiny bit of glue with the tube glue. Ugh. Right. That, and then that goes in there. Cool. Let's get that. Again, I'm having to use more tools because it's actually not that easy to build this thing. with just the things included. Right, there we go, propeller blade on. It's not going to spin, I've glued it in, but it wouldn't spin anyway because it's got a whopping great hole in it. Ugh. Now, the other thing which is likely to push me away from the Airfix club, because I have now been a member of the club for as long as I've been making YouTube videos. Never before then, but since doing this, I thought, yeah, might as well. But it's the persistent use of AI, and I'm not talking about box art. I don't know. I've been told that things are created by actual artists. Fine, whatever. It's articles and things. You read blog posts on their website, and it's just nonsense. There's nothing of note to gain from their articles. It's all drivel. As you can see, the model has this thing. Yeah, okay, but I want to hear about how it was designed, like I used to. And I can't be dealing with that. I'm not a big fan of AI in general, but this is the creative industry that should render AI irrelevant, if that makes sense. The whole point of this hobby is to be creative. You're getting people using their hands, using their brain. You're creating something. If you're a company that sells scale models and you can't even be asked to design things properly using people, and you can't be asked to write about them with some sort of level of passion, then why can I be bothered to buy them? It's a bit different with a foreign company. Now, I've read some really bad translations, but at least then you've got the excuse of, they're not native English speakers. They're running it through software to translate it. Fine, you're going to get those errors. Where's Airfix's excuse for using AI-created blog posts? It's nonsense. Having watched this video, wouldn't give that kit to your worst enemy. It's not great. It's really just mediocre. Here it is, with one nacelle partly on. Going to have to trim these locating pins off because they don't fit anyway, but then it allows me to sand this down. Oh, I was supposed to stick the... Oh, I don't care. The undercarriage door. Oh, I don't care. I don't have enough shits to give. This kit will surely get lots of people into the hobby. There were a lot of people commenting on my Gazelle video that ultimately disagreed with me, thinking that it was good because it's an old kit, it's coming back, and people will remember it from the 70s, and it's fine. But it literally said on the website this would make a fabulous first model. No, it bloody wouldn't. The Gazelle wouldn't. This wouldn't. This is only good for nostalgia, for people that have made models before, that want to experience something that they remember, an interesting plane. This is not good for anyone else. This is not good for a casual modeler. It's definitely not good for a beginner. It's just an old kit. It should be retired. I don't want to hear excuses. I don't want to hear about how modelers these days just don't put in enough effort. Bollocks, right? Modelers these days, if they're good and committed and they enjoy it, is what I'm trying to get at, then yeah, you achieve incredible results. Some of the models that you see being done by, not by people like me, but other people on YouTube, good people on YouTube, they're incredible. people are prepared to put in the effort. But if you're trying to get people into the hobby, you're not competing with Revell. Airfix's rival is not going to be Revell. It's not going to be Hella, not Tamiya, not even going to be KP or Mr. Their rival is going to be Netflix or the PlayStation or Xbox, or at the moment watching the football. You have to convince people to do something creative instead of doing something really easy. Because it's really easy for me to just end this stream, go thanks a lot, chuck this in the bin, and go and play Cyberpunk for the next, 4 hours or something. That would be easier than this. And if Airfix are not careful, they're going to push people away. So I disagree with all those people saying that I was wrong. I think I'm absolutely correct. Building this model now gives me no incentive to go and build another one, except that I like this hobby and I'm going to cleanse my brain by building something that isn't utter dog shit. You can't... hang on. You wish we had Tamiya as a UK company. Well, we could always invade Japan. That would work. You can't stick around. Hope I hate the kit as much as you do. Yeah, but bear in mind that I am building it using the tube glue and the paints included, and I'm essentially building this as a starter set. So if anything, I think I'm having a worse time. Yeah, prepared to put in effort. Sometimes I am. Sometimes I am. A lot of people shill for Airfix no matter what they do. Yeah, defended the warp. Well, I'm a bit... I'm going to hate it even... a bit mixed about... I don't defend Airfix. Well, I don't think I defend Airfix. I genuinely like Airfix kits. The majority of them, especially ones from, say, about 2010 onwards, Airfix kits are amongst the best, in my opinion. Yes, there are some quality issues that do pop up. I don't think the warped parts that Oxley mentioned were particularly relevant, to be honest. It's a very large piece. I don't think it's an actual issue. It's certainly not the worst that I've seen, but it should definitely be pointed out. I think maybe making as big a deal out of it as he did, not what I would do personally. I don't think it's that big an issue. Always worth mentioning. I will mention lots of things on unboxings, whether I think they're much of an issue or not, because if I'm happy just to deal with it, just to fix something, fine, whatever. But somebody else might not be. If I point out, oh look, these decals are wrong for the following reason, I don't care. But if somebody does care, at least I pointed it out and they know to make that that decision. So I won't defend Airfix any more than I will praise. I won't praise them any more than I will opposite of praise them. I can't word. I've been sitting in this box now sniffing tube glue. I can't word. You know what I'm trying to say, I think. And if you don't, good, because I don't. I put this on the wrong side. That's the wrong one. Fucking hell. The engine's backwards. It goes back to what I was saying earlier. I try to be honest where possible. If I think something looks bad, I will say it looks bad, but I'll at least try and find the good points as well. The good point with this is it was £6.99. The bad side of it is that £6.99 could have bought 7 bars of chocolate. And I would have had much more fun eating chocolate than sitting here wrestling with this old turd. Right, there we go. The engine's now on the right side. I got distracted. What was I talking about? I was having a moan. The warping on the 109 massively overplayed. Yeah. So I remember. I don't actually still have the kit. The worst kit issue that I ever had. It was not an Airfix. It was Dragon, and it was the Black Widow, and it had a short shot of about half the wing. So there's a lower wing half. About half of it was just not there. It was awful. Now, at that point, absolutely return it, send it back. That is a complete manufacturing fault. Done. If it's just, oh, this incredibly large frame is a little bit bent, okay, fine. Deal with it. Just glue it together. And I've had some warping on an Airfix Focke-Wulf 190. That was way worse than that 109 was, but it was still fine. I still glued it together, and it worked. So I didn't really have much problem with it. But then I never bought one for myself. I've never looked at one directly, so fair enough. If it bothers some people, mention it. I just think it was a bit too much drama. Get a catapult, launch it into space. Well, that's quite fun. I might do that. We could play a game of catch with it. I might, yeah, sort of throw it around the park from a catapult. That might be fun. You built this back in the day. I'm sorry. You thought it was crap then. Yeah. Who came up with the decision to have this in the little sets? That's what I want to know. Was it? It's all speculation, but let's suggest that Lidl said, we don't want anything military, what have you got? And somebody at Airfix with limited time had a think and went, oh, well, we could probably, chuck this out. Yeah, fine. I don't think anyone... I'm trying to be sensible, careful with what I say. I don't want to upset anyone. Ultimately, I don't think this decision was made by the people that particularly care about Airfix's image. I don't think the people that put a lot of effort into making the starter set range what it is would have anything to do with this. This is very much we have to put a product in Lidl. This will do, right? Yeah. So I don't think it was really meant to. I don't know what it was meant to do. I don't know why this would come back, of all things. It's stupid. I hate it. Airfix replaced the parts, weren't perfect. Yeah. True. You would generally expect a Tamiya kit to be absolutely fine. So I've only ever needed to go to Airfix once. Of the many Airfix kits I've built over the years, both old and new, big, small, I've only ever had to write to customer service once. And it was a perfectly fine experience, but they were also a bit grumpy. It was for the Mitchell, not the new tooled one, the old one from the 70s, I think. I had that, and for some reason the clear parts were from the Boston, so I had the wrong clear parts. So I just sent them an email, and I just got a "we need your address," and that was it. That's the only response I got, and then they sent the new parts. So I think, for me personally, I've never had a problem with Airfix in terms of quality, other than the occasional warped bit, which isn't even that big an issue because you can just fix it. £6.99 or a couple of decent pints of Abbott. Ooh, if you're getting Abbott for £3.50, you're doing all right. Well, I suppose you can buy it in bottles for not very much. Well, then technically it's not a pint, is it? It's 500 ml. Anyway, maybe it was Dale's passing shot. A quick sabotage. You've never had to go to Airfix. Really? I'm trying to think of... Yeah, fair enough. And you make a fair bit of Airfix as well. You want to replace them because you broke it. Cost me buying. Yeah, exactly. £2.88 a pint tumbler. Wow. Ooh. Impressive. Of course, the downside is that you're in Sunderland. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. We can get pints of some beer around here in Norwich for about £3. £3 when it's nearly gone. I suppose there's the Wetherspoons. You can get cheap alcohol in the Wetherspoons, but I don't go to Wetherspoons because I like good alcohol, not cheap alcohol. But, you know, that's me. I was drinking pints yesterday that were £6. And no, I'm not going to complain because the beer was worth it. Yeah, anytime people mention bad quality on an Airfix kit, it always seems to be someone else that has that problem. I only learn about it because other people are talking about it, and there's just me merrily building the kit. Oh, it's fine. Don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, certainly I do agree that when you open up a Tamiya kit, you don't expect to see anything at all. But again, though, thinking about it, from my exposure, I've built probably 30 Airfix kits to every one Tamiya kit. So I'm simply not going to see as many issues because of volume, right? This one works. This propeller blade's fine. So I can have one that spins, I just can't have both that spins. Do I care that it spins? I don't think I do. Yeah. Glue's gone all stringy. How long's it been? Just over 2 hours, right. Just over 2 hours, and I'm nearly done with the Will to Live. No, nearly done with the main assembly of it. And then I will apparently elbow things and generally be an inconvenience. I will probably call it, as in end the stream, once everything is assembled. And I don't think I'll do another stream for it. I'll probably paint it off stream. I'm still going to use this paint. I don't know. We'll see. See how I feel. I need a break. I'm not necessarily done, but I do need a break soon. Need to go and top up my glass. Well, wheels are flying. I just want to get it done. I want to get it out of the way so that I can get this clear prop one started. Because I really like the Comet, and I think it deserves a decent model. Oh, fuck. Oh. Incompetence. That's what this is. That's not the kit, that's just me. Alright, that bit on there. I've got glue on my thumb, so I need to quickly wipe that off before I touch anything else. I only went to Airfix once, no instructions for the Marauder. Whoops. Classic. You don't need instructions. I actually quite like the Airfix Marauder. It's a pretty nice kit. I'm sure the Hasegawa one is better, but I've never made it. But I do like the Marauder. It's a nice plane. Tamiya Philippines or Tamiya Japan produced are both as good as Tamiya have engineered. Oh, I see. Right. So yeah, so they're better at quality because they're overlooking both sites at the same time. There we go. That one fits. The starboard engine nacelle really wasn't happy. The port engine nacelle, fine. I'm just going to quickly tidy up along here. I do have a Tamiya kit in the stash. I'm just looking around. I keep forgetting that I'm wearing a wireless microphone, so I can actually move around. In the past, when I used to stream, I had to be here because the microphone's attached to literally there, next to the webcam. Oh, words. Oh, what is it with inability to speak today? Yeah, I think I've only got one Tamiya kit in the stash. Other than a tank, as I mentioned earlier, I'm really bad with armor. So I've got a Valentine tank which I started a long time ago on a Friday night stream. That's how long ago that was. But in terms of unmade, I have just one, and I'm going to go and get it whilst this is drying. Do you sometimes wash your parts? No, I never do. I do think that there is a point to it. I think if you open up a kit and it is actually greasy, you can see it, you can feel it, then yes, you should wash it. I never have, because I am lazy. But also, I've never really found it an issue. One way around it is just to add primer. If you have a decent primer, which I do, then just put primer over it, and it's probably going to get rid of any dirt and things and give a consistent finish. You know what? That's all right now that it's sitting down. From a distance, maybe more of a distance. Maybe if I take it across the road from a distance, it's probably all right. The new Chaffee kit is very nice. I'm sure it is. Things I do quite like armour. I love the Tank Museum. And I'm just rummaging around a box. I do like the real thing, but I always kind of lose all motivation when I actually start building a tank. So I just kind of give up. I'm also somewhat put off. No, I lack the confidence to do armour properly because they require weathering that I just can't do, basically. So this is the Valentine Mark 2/4. This is a beautiful kit. That's the progress that I've got to so far. Individual tracks, and it is absolutely a great kit, right? No flash, no fit issues, just basically chucked itself together. Really, really nice. But every time I look at it and think, oh, I should do something to that, I just remember I've got tracks to do. Oh, I don't really want to do tracks. It's a bit boring. And then I think, oh, I've got to mask this bit of it as well because it's going to be in this colour. Oh, I just can't be bothered. So one day I'll get around to it. The other thing which I will be working on, the one that I'll be working on sooner rather than later, sorry for screaming into the microphone, it hit me in the face, is the Airfix K2Y, the ambulance, which has a removable roof with an interior, even though I'm going to do it with the doors closed. So I'm going to paint that soon. That's also taken me about 4 years to get that far. But the Tamiya kit, where are you? There. No, oh, I've got two. I've got two. And they demonstrate the one issue that I do have with Tamiya. Right, so one Tamiya kit in the stash is this. I've made this before. It is absolutely beautiful. In my head, I was going to do a big P51 build thing, like exploring as many different P51Ds as possible. And I've made the Airfix one on the channel. I've done the Hella one. I can't remember. I've got an old Hasegawa one. I've got an old Airfix one. And I've got this one. And because I built it before, I already know that this is the best 1/72 P51. And it is lovely. Right, I'm very much looking forward to it. The box is a bit big. You could probably fit 3 of them in here. But anyway, so I've got that. And the other one is a Messerschmitt 109, the G6. You can see G6. And this also looks absolutely fantastic in every way, shape and form. And I'm going to look forward to building it. So the problem that I've got is that these aircraft are very similar in terms of size. They both consist of one main sprue and a couple of extras. And yet, the P51 was about half the price of the 109. It's not consistent. And I still bought the 109, obviously. Otherwise I wouldn't have it in my possession. But I really would rather they just had a more consistent pricing structure. Oops. Oops. If you heard a crunch, that definitely wasn't me, even though it can't physically be anyone else. Nothing's broken. It's fine. Right, I'm sitting back down now. As Eddie Lodge said, you can bat. You can fly Orville when you boot it across the room. Thanks for money. Okay. Oh no, flashbacks to the tracks. I also have, in terms of armor, the Airfix Cromwell, the 135th Cromwell, which has individual tracks, which came in a mystery bundle. Was it a mystery bundle? It must have been, because I wouldn't have ordered it. Yeah, so that will also probably sit in the stash for years, because individual tracks are not my thing. The only other armor that I have currently, other than, do I have, I've got a big wardrobe full of kits. No, I thought I might have a starter set one, but I've got a Sherman, a 122nd Revell Sherman, which I've made before. Lovely kit, and it doesn't have individual tracks to the best of my knowledge. So I've got that. I'll get around to it. But again, weathering. I don't want to waste my time weathering. Some people do prefer rubber band tracks. I don't. I don't like rubber band tracks. I don't like individual link and pin tracks because it takes forever, and nor do I like rubber band tracks. I like the ones which are segments, plastic segments, you know. As per the best tank of the war, my opinion will not be changed. The Matilda 2. This is a Tamiya one. It's got natural weathering because it's been sitting on top of a wardrobe for a while and it's now incredibly dusty. Oh, and the sleeping bags fell off. There you go. So this had tracks that run from here to here. No, here to here to there. And then there's 3 links. And then there's another section of 3 links. And then there's individual just around the sprockets. But because it's got these mud guard things, the tracks on the inside don't actually have to wrap all the way around. You don't have to worry about it. So I didn't. So I'm pretty sure there's a few links missing somewhere. As opposed to the Stuart, which is the Academy tool. So it's the same one that Airfix do, but it's from an Academy box. This did have individual link tracks, which was quite frankly hell. Oh, something's loose. Something's rattling around inside. Yeah. There's a theme to the very few tanks that I have. They will all be appropriate in this colour. They're all intended to be in Cornter scheme. This kit is all right. However, it has a historical inaccuracy which shouldn't bug me. As somebody who doesn't really care that much about armour, it shouldn't bug me, but it does. It was the seat, by the way. That's what was rattling around. The kit includes a turret basket when the early Stuarts did not have a turret basket. So I just didn't glue it in, which is still wrong. Don't get me wrong, I've still done it wrong, but it's at least slightly less wrong, maybe. Quickly glue in the seat. So the plan for the I'm running out of contactor. Need to go to the model shop. I wonder if it's open tomorrow. I don't normally go out into the city on a Sunday. If not, I'll go on Monday. It's fine. It's fine. I'm unemployed. I don't need to keep a schedule. Just do whatever I want. Can you tell that I'm enjoying being unemployed a bit too much? Yeah, the plan is for the Katie, the Valentine, and that's it. To be in Cornter scheme and match the Matilda and the Stuart. At some point, I want to get a Churchill because I like Churchills. But the fact that it's taken me so long to even paint the ambulance. and the Valentine would lead me to believe that I don't have to worry about this for several years. Yeah, that's not working. That's not sticking. I don't care. Whatever. Done. It's inside. I do like the interior detail that you get with this. You can't quite see it that well, but with the hatches open, it looks fantastic. I need a grant. Yes, I would like a grant. What's a model shop? Well, yes, good question. Let's see, here in the east of England, we have a few. Not, I wouldn't say there's that many. There's one main one in Norwich, which is Langley's, which is where I go for paints and paintbrushes and basic supplies, things like that. But just up the road, about half an hour up the road, is this little place called Hannant's. So it's not a model shop so much as a model warehouse. I will pop in there just to have a quick look at a kit, and 2 hours of my life fly by. It's like a kid in a candy shop. It's heaven. That's why I defend Hannant's more than perhaps most people would. A lot of them go, oh, their website's terrible, or they don't charge discounts, or whatever. It's always RRP. Yeah, fine. But just go there. Go in the warehouse. If you can't find something, ask someone for help, and that's it. Your day's gone. You really could just spend a day in there. Well, yeah, it's good, but their website is also crap. Right, I've got the undercarriage doors to assemble and the tail skid. So let's do that. Then that's all of the parts done and glued on. It's like the Chester one. Who's in Chester? Is that a big warehouse as well? Hannant's have a lot of really obscure brands, but because again with the mopeds, because they are predominantly online, they don't tend to put price labels on most of the stuff in the warehouse, which therefore can be dangerous, because you can go in, find this really obscure aircraft from this brand you've never even heard of and go, oh yeah, I'll pick that up. And then you walk to the till and you watch somebody enter some details, and before you know it, you've just spent 300 quid on a couple of models. Oh no, mistakes were made. So yeah, it does have its problems. But it's also really good if you forget about things. You know, you see something released online and you go, oh yeah, I'll pick that up at some point, and then you forget about it, and so you pop in. And so I'm trying to work out which way around these go. I thought they were symmetrical, but oh no, it's supposed to be symmetrical. It just isn't, because it's a bad kit. Cool. Yeah, you can see something online, forget about it, and then when you go in to pick up something else, you go, oh yeah, let's get that. So it's a really good way of offloading money. Now, I've lived around this way for quite some time, and when I first went into Hannant's, there were people with shopping trolleys. I thought, oh, that must be staff or something, you know, walking around with these trolleys loading them. No, they're customers. Just full-blown shopping trolleys full of kits. People will just drive down several hours to stock up. Madness. Right. I mean, it's just barely bloody sitting there. It's more held on with goodwill than anything tangible, but whatever. In fact, you know what? It's my model. I don't care. I'm resting the undercarriage on the undercarriage doors on the wheels. Yep, wouldn't work in real life. Don't care. It's the only way that they're going to actually properly sit there. And then finally, we have tail skid. I don't think the hole is big enough. And don't take this out of context. I'm just going to shove it in and hope. Oh, yes, yes. There we go. With enough cement, it's made the hole wider. Done. Everything is now glued together. That is it. 2.5 hours of fun. Am I having fun? In the arcade area, Old Birmingham City Centre, but there's a lot of stuff. Nice. Oh, trains as well. Looking for Sea Eagle, a Hornby A4. Seagull. Hang on, what? There was a Sea Eagle? I like the A4. I have a Hornby A4. I have Mallard, but I don't have Mallard in blue because, you know, that's too mainstream. I have Mallard in BR green. Came in a set many years ago. It's all right. It's a nice enough model. Am I having fun yet? Because I set myself the pointless rules of only using the stuff included, I'm not using filler to fill this horrific wing root. I'm just splodging in some glue. It is working. I think this is layer 3 now. It is getting there. It just means I can't paint it because the glue needs to dry. Still, it's nice to prove to myself that I can still model using only basic tools. Look at that. Ugh. Grim. It's turning it yellow. You can see that. The ridge, it's become an orangey colour. It's slowly fading to yellow. Wonder why the poly cement's doing that. Yeah. Oh well. Boys, I'm still. What? Oh. Oh right. So it's a shop that sells random paints, but what? Not do they do other modelling stuff? We've got Hobbycraft in Norwich as well, and they have a reasonable selection of Airfix and who else? Revell. They have mostly Airfix, some Revell, some Tamiya, and some Mr. But they also sell some Warhammer paints. What's the company called? Anyway, you know, like the rattle cans, things like that. Citadel. And I don't normally buy from there because they're a bit expensive, if I'm honest. Well, I'm a bit stuck with what to do. A little bit limited because I need to wait for things to dry. But what I could do, I think, let's move this out of the way. As long as you ignore the fact that the stream says specifically I'm working on the Comet, I can always glue the wings to the moth fuselage. The reason for not gluing it together up to now is because the wings, I don't know if you can, it is quite subtle. They're a different colour because they're paler. See, the brown and the green are just a tiny bit paler, and I thought it'd be easier to paint it like this. But now that it is painted, I can glue that together. And then we have one of the greatest bombers of the Second World War. Yeah, let's do that. Let's glue the thingy on. Oh, I'm really happy with the interior of this. I went above and beyond. Again, going back to that point earlier, if a model is good, it can often inspire me to put in extra effort. If a model is bad, the effort is just not throwing it in the bin. And this is a good kit with plenty of detail inside. So it pushed me to try and make the most of it. Come on, come on, slide in. There we go. Done, done, and done. These tiny little bomb racks, hilarious. The bombs on this kit are smaller than most bombs that I use in 72nd. That's how ridiculously small they are. They were £20 bombs. Hobbycraft stopped selling the Tamiya rattle cans to get the Warhammer stuff. Yeah. Well, thankfully, because Norwich has a dedicated model shop, I can still get Tamiya rattle cans. And there's another shop in Norwich, which is sort of a remote control type shop. But they also have the occasional scale model, but mostly rattle cans. Loads of them. Loads and loads of them. Every colour you'd ever want in there, which is good. So there's a couple of places that I can get my supply of paints. Sea Eagle renamed. Oh, right. Yeah, it was one of the ones which was renamed to appease one of the bosses. That's probably why I hadn't heard of it. Ugh. The undercarriage broke. That's not very good. I do find that tiger moths, no matter how much I love them, do regularly have undercarriage problems. Always end up breaking. Oops, what if I just... Oh. Something went flying. I was trying to work out what it was. Right. It's nearly 6 o'clock. I don't think I am going to be able to get any more work done to the Comet today, because this glue is going to take a little while to dry, and then I've got to sand it down and then start the painting. So I will probably just call that a day, call that a stream, call it what I want. Yeah, I'm not impressed. It can sit on the wing of the tiger moth. It's cheap enough that if the kit, it doesn't even have to be great. If it was just better, I would have considered buying multiple, because there were 5 DH.88s in total, plus there's been new builds and things. But those 5 had relatively interesting lives. Well, one of them didn't. One of them took off, crashed, and that was it. But anyway, like Grosvenor House could be done in REF colours. It was then sent back onto the racing circuit. I can't remember what its name was. Was it Burberry? Is it this one that was Burberry? So it's got different colours. There's the primer option that you can do for it. There's Black Magic was in Portugal, so you could do the Portuguese one. There's the French ones. You know, there's so many options for DH.88 that being able to get one at £7 is so good if the kit was worth it. It's hard to say that a kit that's sold at such a low price isn't worth the money, but I don't think it is worth the money, because I don't think anybody should be buying this. It's done. Just get rid of it. Bin the moulds. Or put them in a museum, take them to Margate and just put them behind a screen and go, look, this is what people used to do before the internet. Used to have to wrestle with really bad bits of kit. Right. There's nothing else I can do with the tiger moths either, because they are drying. Oh, the yellow striped on the wings. It's going to be so good. Looking forward to it. Right. The stream will end with about 3 minutes of a song and a slideshow, because that's what I decided to do, and it's a little compilation of thumbnails for videos that are coming up. I will show off one of them, maybe 2 of them. I'm going to show off 2 of them as a farewell. one. This will probably be right at the end of the month because I haven't finished the video. I've got a 1/48 Sea Fury. This is the Airfix kit. I did an unboxing a little while ago. Damn it, you missed it. Yeah, well, tough. Before I end, I'll work out when the next stream will be, so you have a chance. Did Airfix make a model of the submarine forerunner to the Spitfire? Oh, the S6B. Somebody did make an S6B. I don't know if it was Airfix though. I don't think so. Anyway, right. So the Sea Fury is probably the best result I've ever got from a kit. I'm quite impressed. This is one of those that it sits on my shelf and I go, am I sure I made that? It's the first time I've ever done exhaust smoke properly with an airbrush, mixed a nice smoky colour together, looked at photos. There we go. So yeah, it's one that I've got the video mostly done. There will be an appearance from Model Minutes in there as well because he built this kit a little while ago, and so he shares his thoughts on it. And I love it. Yeah, almost certainly the best thing I've done. And I mostly built it overnight. I had the house to myself for a couple of days, so I watched the Christian Bale Batman films, as you do. I just put them on. That's on Netflix. Put one on. Started building this, and before you know it, this was basically done. And then I painted it the next day. So it didn't take me long. Absolutely beautiful. Love it. Harsh. Well, yeah. There's a couple like that. There's one that I did quite a while ago, the Airfix Beaufort, where it's one that I tried new techniques on, and it looks great, and it just sat there and made everything else around it look terrible. Am I sure this was mine? My next video is due out tomorrow, and it will be not one, but 2 tiger moths. Because it's been a while since I featured a tiger moth on the channel, and they are one of my favourite planes, so I kind of had to. This is the got to head to excellent. Well, I won't be on when you are back, so thank you for joining. Thank you for chatting. I will hopefully see you on the next stream, which I'll mention it just before you dash off. What day should we do? Tuesday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Tuesday. One of the two, either Tuesday or Wednesday. I don't know. I haven't decided. About 2:30 or 3 o'clock, same time as this one. So if you're about for that, brilliant. If not, you can always watch it back. So yes, thanks again. Enjoy the footy. I'm not a fan of football. I really don't care. I'll be making models of planes instead. Rigging, yes. So this is the 172nd Airfix Tiger Moth. This is the club kit version. However, it's not actually the club kit decals. If you, I can't find it. I've thrown it out. I was going to say, if you see the box. Oh no, there's the box. I haven't thrown it out. I was about to salvage it for rolling stock. The box has 515 and it has curved red lines. This says 621 and has straight red lines. It's aftermarket decals, and the Finnish one entirely aftermarket decals. Both of them have basic rigging. They don't have all of the rigging, but they do have some. Having built 14 of this kit, I thought it was about time that I actually did them properly by adding some rigging, so that is what I've done. They don't have a space on a shelf yet because I have too many kits. And then one last thing, bearing in mind channel members have already seen all of this anyway, but still, one last thing which will be on next Sunday. Where are we today? We're the 11th. So yeah, the 12th is the Tiger Moths. I've got an unboxing on the 15th on Wednesday, and so the 19th, so next Sunday's video will be the Draken, which I also love. So there we go. They are the spoilers. Next stream will be the... Where are you? You're in the wardrobe. So the plan is for 2 more streams before I then have to start a new job. Next stream, I'll be building the Gazelle. Exactly the same as with the Comet. This will be a starter set build, so I will only be using what is in the box, as well as a few basic tools, knife, side cutters, that sort of thing. This does mean it will not have any weight, because weight is not included. I have too few shelves. Oh god, no, I really do have too many kits. So I've already made 2 Gazelles, the video's already live. And they've got a lot of liquid gravity in them. So the next stream I will be building this as per the box, which means I'll be doing that scheme, or more importantly that scheme, because they are actually slightly different. Oh, something's rattling. And then there will be one more stream probably the week after. So I need to work out, I'm going to try and arrange it with Ms. Modeler to try and fit in around her streams, because it makes sense. If I stream, for example, and then when I finish you go over to hers, something like that. I'm going to arrange it. It will either be Tuesday or Wednesday, and then the following Tuesday or Wednesday will be the Red Arrows Hawk, also from the Lidl set. However, this will not be a starter set build because I'm not going to be painting it red. That's the spoiler. So thank you again to everyone who has dropped in. There will be I'm just going to leave the next thing running for about 3 minutes, which is it's just a song and some stuff, some advertising basically, because I spent a good 10 minutes setting it up. I'm going to do it. So again, thank you. I will share when the next stream will be as soon as I have confirmed. Farewell, everybody.